All right. How's it going?
Good day, Stuart.
Welcome to Crown Council Live. It is Stuart Anderson, Steve Anderson, and Spencer Chipping. What's up? It's July 7th.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, July 7th, beautiful day here in Salt Lake, although it's going to be hot. Steve, hot where you are?
I'm in Texas.
Nice. That's fun. So yes, very warm in Texas. Very good.
People who live in Texas do not complain about the heat. We chose to live in the great state of Texas.
It's a dry heat. It's a dry heat. That's what everyone always says to us in Utah when it's hot. Oh, it's a dry heat. So very good. Hey, exciting big show today. Let's hope it all goes smooth with all of our guests and moving parts, but we're excited to have lots of different people from Crown Council and thankful to have these two on with me as hosts. We're gonna jump right in. We're gonna introduce you to one of our young dentists. So Alexa McEnany has been part of our young dentist group for the last couple years. And Alexa found a few minutes today to join us. Right. This is the best time. She said she had 20 minutes to join. So we're going to let her in now to be with us and to talk a little bit about Young Dentist Program. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tell everybody where you're joining in from.
So right now I'm in Colorado Springs. Just at work, just popped out between patients really quick to say hello.
I know it is not easy to catch. We've been doing a little, we record people or we catch them whenever they can. So I was super grateful.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I put out the bat signal for Alexa to join and she answered. So very cool.
Happy to be here.
We're meeting next week, all the young dentists again, our final weekend. And the Young Dentist Program, that it'll kind of conclude our time together. And we thought it'd be fun to bring you on and just ask about your experience, what you've learned, how it's been for you, and then what you'd say to somebody that's going to join next year about being part of it. So maybe let's start there. Tell us about your experience with Young Dentist Program. How's it been?
Yeah, it's been awesome. So I feel like mine is a little different because I was part of the 2020 group, my D4 year of dental school when I started, and it was all a little unusual. So I'm so glad that Cherish and I both actually decided to do it again to see the full. I think you guys did a great job dealing with COVID and things happening the way they had to. But yeah, this one's been really fun. I found out about it from being at Roseman. It was often at Roseman. Oftentimes we'd go to their classroom to study and be like, there's a thing here, we can't go in there. And then starting to be like, what is going on in here all the time? And some of our faculty have done it before, been a part of it or mentors of it. So that's how we found out about it, both Cherish and I assisted another student for one of Dr. Hornbrook's other courses. And I was like, I've got to see what this is all about. This is awesome. And so that's kind of what brought me to it. Both courses have been an amazing experience. It's been so fun to start to learn, as a young dentist, to watch an experienced dentist kind of think through the complex treatment planning. It's not necessarily something that comes naturally, especially because we're so, worried about doing every little thing right. And this kind of gives you the opportunity to because you all bring cases and you get to see Dr. Hornbrook and Dr. Larson this year, kind of think through these cases and show you how they, with all their experience, are thinking through them. And it's been extremely helpful. Yeah.
Very good. You guys got questions for Alexa?
How has it changed? Yeah. How has it changed how you actually treatment plan today? I'm sure there was an immediate impact. How do you look at your patients differently today?
Yeah. I felt less worried about having all of the answers. I think that was a little bit holding me back in treatment planning because I felt like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do all of this yet. I can't even bring this up to them. And I feel like this course and Dr. Hornbrook and having mentors in it that I feel genuinely want to be there for me to help me. Dr. Hornbrook even says that. He said, tell them what you can do. Tell them about the case, sell the case, and then we're here to help you from there on. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to get through the whole thing. We're here to help you through those parts that you don't understand. And that's been the biggest benefit is I feel it's a little freeing as a young dentist now going into these and telling patients like, this is what we can do. And knowing that I could genuinely help them get there because I have the tools and the mentors to help me, even if it's something I personally haven't done yet.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about the group. You've been a part of 2 young dentist groups. So give everybody a little bit of a flavor of what the 2 groups have been like.
Yeah, both awesome. I think the second group is quite a bit bigger actually, which has been really fun because it's fun to have people from all over and get different questions or to learn how people are dealing with different things in their practices. I think the difference in where the location has been for the courses has been kind of a fun difference. Of course, Roseman is my home, the dental school, but where we did it this summer, where we did it this summer, I think almost was even better. Just the setup, just the ability to actually learn and see more up close while Dr. Larson was prepping was really helpful. And have Dr. Hornbrook talking through the whole thing, or just to be able to ask him questions during the whole process has been really helpful. And I think that's the biggest benefit for young dentists is like, you don't necessarily get to see a lot of this in dental school or even to do it. So just to like watch it happen and watch them as things come up during those preps, nothing ever goes according to plan. You can have the perfect plan and there's going to be little things that come up, and watching them think through and work through that is so helpful, I think. And that's been awesome.
Nice. What about top of your head, just biggest takeaway from being part of the group?
Biggest takeaway, I think, is learning to think in systems. Dr. Hornbrook has awesome guides as far as prepping or planning, prepping, and cementing. And I think all of those are extremely helpful. I think you're setting yourself up for success if you have a good system, and he kind of lays that out for you, and then you can tailor it to what works best for you, but you see the importance and the success that comes out of having a good plan and a good system to work through these systematically every single time. Doesn't matter the patient, doesn't matter the situation. It gives you the setup to do it the same way every time.
Very cool. Maybe let's talk about for just a minute what you've learned beyond treatment planning. Is there anything that kind of stands out beyond all the cosmetic training that you've received?
Beyond that, I think knowing that having mentors is part of dentistry, and it's also part of leaning on mentors, leaning on your peers, and knowing that it's okay to not have the answer in the moment and telling the patient, like, I will find this out for you, and getting a lot of ideas and opinions is an important part of dentistry, especially as a dentist, and learning and growing and kind of finding where you fit in. I'm sorry, I had another thought. My office manager is speaking around the corner. I think she needs me for something.
You're good.
I had another thought and it's left me.
That's fine. Very good.
If it comes back, I'll let you know. But I think that's the biggest thing, is like knowing that it's important to have these kinds of communities, Crown Council too, where you have these groups to share these ideas, because it's hard to do it all on your own. It's awesome to have people to help you, or to give you ideas when you're stuck, or to tell you like, yeah, I would do that too. Even that feels good as a young dentist, to help you build confidence.
I love that. Did you think that way going in? Did you have mentors or people that you turned to for help before the Young Dentist program? Or was that kind of a new thought for you?
Yeah, I think outside of dental school faculty, not really. I was an assistant before I was in dental school, so I did have a dentist that I worked for who unfortunately since passed away. So I felt like I lost a mentor. So it was really cool for me to feel like I gained several more. And I think it's a good setup for, like, I feel like you build that relationship with Dr. Hornbrook during the course, or now Dr. Larson during the course. But I think it kind of sets you up for a community where even if he couldn't help with something specific, they reach out to people that are local that can also help you, that are part of Crown Council or have gone through the Young Dentist program. They help you find those mentors. So I think that's a big benefit of it. Worth every penny spent just for that.
Nice. All right. You're going to do, let's say you're doing it all over again. So let's say you sign back. What would you do different? How would you approach anything you do different, or advice you'd give to somebody joining up?
Yeah. don't forget to bring your notebook back to the second week. I think I forgot that last year, and I was like, oh man, because that would have been more helpful. Like from some of the questions I had looked through or come up with, or things that had come up with before, I forgot to bring it on the flight with me. I also always forget that there's always cool stuff. There's always a cool backpack, and I always forget to like make room for that to take back with me on the plane. But I think I would have gone into, I think as a D4 doing it that first year, feeling a little more scared to maybe ask questions, and that would have been okay. But because you are in a mixed group, you're in a mixed group of people that have been practicing for a few years, but I feel like there's less common that it's D4s. But I would encourage wherever you're at to feel comfortable asking questions. It's okay, and everyone's going to learn a lot more from it.
Very cool.
Very good. Thanks for sharing your experience, Alexa.
Yeah, of course.
2 years running. Is there going to be a third?
I think they're going to kick me out. I'm just kidding. I think I'll move on to the other courses. We'll do those too.
There you go.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought of one more thing as far as like what I would have done differently. I would have, going into this, like knowing I wanted to, I would have started looking for patients sooner, because I feel like sometimes you're trying to like get all the photos and everything to submit your case, and you learn so much more when you submit one of your own cases, when it's a patient that you've like seen everything. So make sure to be thinking through that, or look for patients and kind of have that early, so you have it set up and it's not last minute.
Yeah. It is that is a hard part to describe. What she's talking about is every young dentist that participates in the Young Dentist program has the opportunity to submit what we call the Save a Smile, Save a Life program. So as you enter the Young Dentist program, we all submit one case to the group, which we will then pick or vote which case we want to work on live with Dr. Larson and Dr. Hornbrook. And it's really hard to navigate the gravity of how cool that can be. And I agree with you that if anyone is watching or listening, that is a huge part of your experiences, kind of sifting through now and looking for that perfect patient to submit. So that's a tough. As many dumb little videos as I sent you, it was still really hard to.
It's still hard, yeah. That deadline creeps up on you, and you're like, I have to take all these photos.
Yep. Very good.
Yeah.
All right, Alexa, thank you so much. Grateful to have you
with
us.
Of course.
Steve, any final questions?
All good. Thank you, Alexa. And thanks for all of your patience during the pandemic and doing it twice.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I learned a lot, so it's been awesome.
Very cool. More to come.
All right. Thanks so much. See ya.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Yeah, see you next week.
Nice. Yeah, I sent out, Steve asked, he said, wouldn't it be cool if we had one of the young dentists on? And I kind of sent that out to her. And man, the neatest part about Alexa, she was the one that sent in the first nomination for Cherish to be the young dentist of the year last year, which kind of led us down that pathway of nominating and recognizing Cherish as young dentist of the year. So a really great leader, and man, I'm excited to have her kind of come up through the ranks in Crown Council. So she's awesome. Very cool.
Very cool.
All right. So we're going to move on. This is Spencer's specialty. We're going to welcome in Dr. Dan Linford. Chip, do you want to share just a little bit about Dan, who he is and why we've got him on?
Absolutely. For everyone listening to this is your type of guy. This is Dr. Dan Linford, a practicing doctor right now, a Crown Council new member right now, but also a very strong and reputable entrepreneur. So much so that as Dan has been practicing, he said, there are areas inside of the practice in which I can help the processes move more seamless. I can cut out the fat and eliminate some overhead costs. I can, from an operations standpoint, I can help kind of the workflow inside our office. And so this business, we're going to introduce Soho to the Crown Council as a new resource partner to the Crown Council, and how his printing business, and I mean printer inside your practice with paper and toner, can help your practice with overall workflow and processes. So
very cool. Dan, can you hear us? I know maybe your video's off. Can you hear us? Maybe he's just waiting. It says that he's in here, but we're waiting on his video. So hold on. Let's go.
yeah.
Oh. Hey, Dan, can you hear us?
Looks like connected with his phone.
You waiting on me?
We're waiting on you.
Sorry, guys. I had it on my computer, and all of a sudden my computer decided not to work.
It's all good. Live stream, man. That's just what happens. We're
That's
ready.
right.
We're ready for
the real raw deal.
Yep.
Nice.
Well, Dr. Dan Linford, everybody. And Dan, while you were connecting, I introduced your business,
Awesome.
and how the process of your business works to also eliminate some of the stresses of the overall team members in the office.
Yeah.
Working with if I was in front of an open crowd right now, I would say, who here in your practice has had a experience with a broken printer, toner gone out, or needed help replacing their printer, and show of hands,
Yep.
So Dan, as a current practicing doctor, tell us a little bit about how the business model can help alleviate some of these pain points inside the practice.
Yeah. So what we do is we just make it super easy to manage your printers. We install much better printers than you could get at Costco or Best Buy or somewhere. And then what we do is we manage those for you. So if your toner goes down, we send you a new toner out automatically. If your printer goes down, we have a support number to call and you get immediate help. You can even text them. And it just makes it really convenient and easy for everyone to just have one less thing to worry about, we hope, in the office. Price wise, we're competitive, if not beating, if you went and shopped for yourself at Costco or Best Buy or whoever you're sending out there to grab your stuff. You just don't even have to worry about it anymore. Just kind of a one-stop easy solution. Can be installed in a couple days, from the initial knowing of your need to installation in just maybe a few days, and then up and running and just easy peasy.
Yeah. So Dan, what's cool about your model is it's specific to dentistry. You have fine-tuned it with respect to where you work. How many offices across the country are utilizing Soho and the services, and what are the benefits that they're seeing from the new process?
Yeah, so we have about we're almost at 500 locations across 37 states. We, the benefits are less downtime, less stress, just one less thing for your front desk to worry about, one less thing for you to worry about, cost savings, and just all in all, making your life easier. And yeah, we're available whatever state you're in, whatever city you're in, we are there and able to help.
Nice. So Dan, as a new resource partner, I'm going to introduce this to the Crown Council. We are, as Dan is a new resource partner into the Crown Council, we're going to have 2 or 4 offices that are going to pilot the whole printing model and process with Soho and working with Dan's business and really showcase, hey, this model works inside the practice. It saves us time and money. That's what we're here to share today, is an opportunity to save some time and money. And we're going to list that on the crowncouncil.com site and make an introduction to the opportunity to be some of the test pilots for Soho, working with Dr. Linford here. So Dan, we are thrilled to have you as a new resource partner into the Crown Council. We're excited to see you set up at the annual event this January. Any parting words for us as and thoughts on being maybe the newest Crown Council member.
Oh, well, for me, I'm just really excited because maybe I'm the only one, but I think dentistry can be a lonely profession. I think we do a lot of stuff on our own, and I'm excited to have a community. And I've heard a lot of good things about the Crown Council over the years. I have a lot of friends who are members, and I just think having a community where you can find like-minded people to bounce ideas off of or talk about your frustrations with, that's just exciting for me. So, and that's for me the most exciting part, probably.
Nice.
Well, we look forward to having you, and also thank you for the solution.
Yes.
One of the many practice issues that everybody deals with.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
See ya.
All right, bye. Spence, I know you worked for a long time to bring Dan in as a Crown Council member first, and then to share that idea. That was like scripted. That was like we handed him a paper and he read why he joined. That was really good. So really fun to hear him say he wanted a community. So thanks. Perfect. All righty. Very good. All right, Chip, we're going to play a little video. So I'll have you jump off, but thanks for being on.
Good to see you guys.
Okay. All right. Steve, do you want to tee interview here with our next guest?
This is a really cool story. So in everything that we do in the Smiles for Life Foundation, there's so many different aspects to it, from the whitening campaign that raises a ton of money, where we've got $50 million in money raised on the horizon here coming up this coming year. And then all of the things we do, humanitarian dental expeditions, and the things we've done over the years, our partnership with Major League Baseball years ago to really shed some light on what spit tobacco does to oral health, and all kinds of different programs. And so one of the objectives that we've had in the Smiles for Life Foundation is to highlight and add value to areas in dentistry where we can make a difference. And one of those that we've identified is making dentistry more available to the IDD community. Now, that may not be a term that you're familiar with. I was not. So IDD is now the term that we use to describe those with intellectual or developmental disabilities. And the Department of Health and Human Services estimates that population makes up 25% of America, has some type of developmental or intellectual disability. And so, and many times in healthcare, they can be one of the most underserved populations, just because a typical healthcare practice, a dental practice, doesn't know how to deal with someone who has some type of disability. And the reality of it is that 90% of the people in the IDD community can be served just like anybody else. And so we launched an initiative at the annual event earlier this year and announced a partnership that we're very excited about with Special Olympics.
Yes.
And I don't think I need to talk much about Special Olympics. Everybody knows about Special Olympics. And we've created a partnership with Special Olympics where Crown Council practices can adopt an athlete or more in partnership with Special Olympics. And it's very easy. You just have to raise your hand and say yes. And then you'll get connected with the local Special Olympics representative, who will then get everything connected up with a patient that they have already identified that is in need of dental health care.
Nice.
So we've had a bunch of Crown Council practices that have already adopted athletes all over the country. And one of the real leaders in this effort is Dr. Rob Warren, who I had the opportunity to visit with recently. Rob's been working with Special Olympics for quite some time. And so when he heard about this initiative, he was all over it. And he's going to share just a little bit about his experience and his practice's experience with Adopt an Athlete with Special Olympics.
Okay. I'm going to play it.
Very good. It's Steve Anderson, and it's my privilege today to talk to Dr. Rob Warren from Madison, Wisconsin. Rob, thanks for joining us today and taking a few minutes. You have had a long relationship with the Special Olympics organization and have been very instrumental in our recent, much more recent work. You've got a long history with them. The Crown Council and the Smiles for Life Foundation has recently initiated a relationship with Special Olympics that we are calling Adopt an Athlete, giving Special Olympians the opportunity to give better access to dental care, which, and you can speak to this because you've been involved so long. Maybe you could characterize, first off, the access to care issue that exists for IDD, individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This was a news flash to me. I had no idea the size of that population and the challenges that they have getting healthcare. So maybe you could share with us a little bit about the overall problem.
Absolutely, yeah. And again, thank you for doing this today, Steve. I'm really excited to be able to kind of share the message and how many people we can help. So IDD patients really have a challenge because so often a lot of the intellectual and development disabilities are recognized at a very young age. And so there's a lot of programs out there to help both with medical and dental coverage for kids. You're under 18, a lot of support networks are in school, on support in the school systems as well. The challenge during that time really is just finding care in the first place. People are willing to see IDD patients, and sometimes it can be a little bit of a concern for how that might go. But the bigger challenge comes once they turn 18. In essence, they age out. A lot of pediatric practices will no longer see them when they're over 18. So now here they are out on their own. Some of them are learning how to live on their own and do some self-care, and now they have no place to go. And even when they do have a place to go, life is going to be very expensive. And so the combination of giving them a dental home where they can find a consistent place to go is really what's needed. And so the other part of that is too often they go to one office and then maybe they're having a challenge there, so they go to another office. IDD patients love consistency and predictability. Yes. So by creating a dental home, we're able to create a one location, one team that builds a relationship, just like we do with our patients every day, to give them a comfortable place to go to get taken care of.
The one of the things that, at least in my trying to get educated about all of this, I had no idea the extent of the population that is that falls under the IDD, intellectual and developmental disabilities banner. Estimates are close to 25% of the American population is what, at least what I've been told it can be. So anybody, for example, with autism or that's anywhere on the autism spectrum would be considered, or any kind of a health challenge. It's a very, very broad definition. And so there's a lot of different types of people that would fit in that overall characterization. You got involved with Special Olympics a long time ago. Maybe you can tell us the quick backstory.
Really, the bottom line is because I was asked. It really came down to doing we call Missions of Mercy. There are free dental clinics that are done across the country. We bring in about 100 dental chairs, and you're in a gymnasium of some kind or an auditorium, and you're doing every kind of care that's possible for those patients over 2 days. After the first year, I was talking with Missy Schoenbrock. We were talking about how to incorporate the patients from Special Olympics athletes program into the dental care. And someone who was setting it up, again, thought of me and said, hey, I know Rob, I know his heart. I think he'd be a great person to help out. So the bottom line, I guess I said, I was asked. And really just helped out the first year. And after helping out, once I literally had my teeth sunk into it, I wasn't going to let go. It was just a ton of fun. The way we could help, the authenticity and sincerity of the patients, how appreciative they were. It was something I want to be a part of and make a difference.
So today you have Special Olympians that come into your office, you treat them there. Give us a little idea of the extent of that, how many, how often, how does that work?
In terms of the Adopt Athlete program right now, I currently have 6 directly through the Adopt Athlete program. Beyond that, though, I honestly don't even have a number for you to give you because we see so many. it really is something where they are incorporated into the flow of the everyday practice. I think that's one of the concerns a lot of people have with getting involved, is knowing, how different are IDD patients. Honestly, they're only as different as you treat them. It really comes down to treating just like you would treat Mr. or Mrs. Johnson or their children as they come into the office. It's incorporating them into the family that is your practice. And we're able to do everything from the initial new patient exam to what you expect with preventive hygiene care, all the way into removing teeth and placing implants, implant-supported dentures. There definitely is a bigger need sometimes for more, I would say, extensive measures in terms of root canals or removing teeth. A lot of times, by the time an IDD patient gets to a practitioner, they spend a long time without care. Haven't always had some of the best home care habits or the ability, both in terms of the physical sense or the mental capacity to think about that and make it part of their routine. So they tend to have a few more oral health issues, but nothing that cannot be addressed within a day-to-day practice.
Have you ever had any patients where you felt it was maybe beyond your ability, not your personal ability, but in terms of maybe they needed sedation because of the extent of the work or the extent of their intellectual disability? Any of those where it's like, I'm not sure that we want to tackle that one.
There are a few that come down to that. I've had a few patients that especially had the need for sedation, either, and actually it's the same kind of thing I have with my everyday patients as well. Just some kind of really high anxiety, real hard time sitting still in a chair, and it becomes a risk for anybody to work on them without having some sort of sedation, either anti-anxiety protocols, conscious sedation, or complete IV sedation. Quite often we'll use the first two options, anti-anxiety protocols or a conscious sedation route. And I would say that probably works for 89% of the patients. There's a very small percentage that we need to refer out. And again, it comes down to saying, if they're going to be in my chair, can I do it as efficiently and effectively as I can if I send them, say, an oral surgeon to get their wisdom teeth? I tend to refer for that. Again, they're much more efficient at it. And again, being sedated is actually be safer for the patient, regardless of whether they're IDD or not.
Got it. So in terms of if anybody had concerns about, gee, I'm not sure if we're equipped or we could handle this population, from what you're saying, it's like, this doesn't differ that much from the rest of the patient population that you deal with on a daily basis.
Really doesn't. Again, I'll tell you, Steve, quite often we'll get patients, Ativan or diazepam or lorazepam, just as good for an anxiolysis protocol. Maybe something the night before, an hour before they come in, and that's it. You don't have to be conscious sedation certified. You're not doing, crushing up, putting with the tongue, and have to have all the connections and systems for that. It's really more of an anti-anxiety protocol. It just helps them calm down. And once they're calm and relaxed, a little bit of nitrous, it's working like we're working at any other patient you have in your practice.
So, any reason you never did this before, other than the fact nobody ever asked? I actually brought to your mind, right?
Well, honestly, coming out of Marquette Dental School, I spent some time down at a time called it special needs. Really enjoyed kind of helping patients out there. And when the practice I took over, had stopped seeing MA because of the reimbursement concerns, but kept on a number of patients and just saw them for free. So I actually already, before I jumped into Special Olympics helping out, I'd already been seeing a number of patients. So the practice I acquired already had a good portion, probably not more than about 5% or so, a few hundred patients that would be considered IDD patients. And so that's kind of where I kind of started dabbling, but never really made the connection to Special Olympics until Missions Emergency came about.
Got it. So we really appreciate all of your enthusiastic, hold on, excuse me. Let me start over on that one. I did not anticipate that. All right, so we'll start back on that. Rob, we really appreciate your enthusiastic participation and eagerness to participate and adopt an athlete. You've had the experience, and so this was, this is very easy for all of you to do. And so from your story, you started doing this because somebody asked. And part of our purpose today is to extend that ask to other dentists. So, this is not that hard to do. And what we've created in the Adopt an Athlete program is an easy way to do it. At least if you haven't treated people in this population before, this is an easy way to get started. Maybe you can just characterize a little bit your experience so far with Adopt an Athlete, how it works in terms of how you got started, what it's like, how's it gone?
Sure. So the first thing to get us started is actually connected with Missy Schoenbrock, who is our SOE or Special Olympics of Wisconsin coordinator. And so she identified some athletes that needed some attention. And we actually also happen to do what's called a Special Smiles Day. So once a year, we actually do a free day of dentistry for all Special Olympics athletes. We bring in a bunch of other dentists that come down and help out, and staff volunteers. And so she brought them in for that day to help kind of introduce us to them. And then at that point in time was when we were able to take some care of the initial pain and problems, and then talk to them about some different options for care moving forward to help create a dental home. And it was really like any other patient, bringing him in. It was an interview, checking him out, kind of finding out what matters most, what's important to them, and how it can help take care of them. And what's really neat is they don't come alone. A lot of them will tend to come with a caretaker. So you have someone else there that can help communicate and share what's going on, and also help communicate the follow-through plan, so you're not kind of leaving them hanging out to dry. So it kind of becomes, again, a team effort from the patient themselves, the caretaker, the dental team in the office.
Yeah, and that's thanks for sharing that. That's one of the beauties of this whole setup is the Special Olympics healthcare specialist identifies the patients, gets them connected with you as the dentist, and you basically can decide how many athletes you want to treat. That's totally up to the practitioner. And you get the benefit of everything that comes, all the people that come in their wake, family members, caretakers.
Absolutely. I know, actually, Steve, I should pull it out. I actually now have a Special Olympics gold medal that was shared with me, and I think it was so appreciative after their care. They took it from around their neck and gave it to my wow. Thank you. It hangs in one of my operatories. Yeah, it really is. God gives us amazing gifts to be able to help people in different ways. This is a great opportunity to do that. I don't think people really realize what a gift it is to be able to do dentistry, the skills that you have, and having compassion, take care of people. And so it's an opportunity for you and for your team to get involved and really pay it forward, and really to see the gift you give these patients. I've seen these patients now for the better part of, I want to say, 12 years in a couple of cases, and watching them grow and watch them go from someone who was drinking, 2 24-ounce Mountain Dews for breakfast and having cavities just about every tooth in their mouth, to now having a full complement of teeth and really now actually engaged and dating because they didn't like how they looked before. And it's just amazing to see the change that you can help give to someone else.
That's very cool. Impact on your team?
Oh, the team loves it. It's a lot of fun. They always look forward to that time. Again, it's something where you talk about the energy it takes to connect with the patients. It comes back to you tenfold because of the reward you get out of that. And they all kind of decide, oh, someone's coming. I want to be able to see them. I'll take off 7. I got it. I'll be there. They really do. People, as a whole, we're here to serve and help and take care of others. This is a great opportunity to do it. It's very rewarding. And again, the patients and the families are so appreciative.
Very cool. What would you tell another dentist, another team that is at least has been introduced to this, trying to decide whether they should do it or not? What would you tell them?
I would ask them really one simple question of what's stopping you? What do you see getting in the way of you moving forward? And any of those questions that might be stopping you, reach out to myself, reach out to Steve. We're here to answer those questions and let you know it's easier than you think. And once you take that first step into it, you'll be so glad that you did.
Fantastic. Dr. Rob Warren, thank you for taking some time from beautiful Madison, Wisconsin today, and for sharing your now, dozen years of experience doing this. And we're very excited to spread your great example across the country so that a lot of other practices can have that same experience and open the doors to dentistry to the intellectual and developmental disability community. So thank you.
I'm really hoping that people get a chance to get involved and get engaged. And if you're someone who's not a dentist watching this, talk to your dentist and ask them to help out. And if you have someone that you go see, again, they're not going to get involved unless someone asks them. And so if you think that highly of them to get them engaged, ask the question, let them be a part of making something special happen for these IDD patients.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right, very good. I'm going to bring over this little portal, Steve. And if you got some concluding thoughts, I'm going to just share on the Crown Council website where a member can go to sign up.
Perfect.
So we're here in the My Directory, and in everyone's directory who is a full Crown Council premium member, they will see down here, Adopt an Athlete. And if you click on that link, this is where we go. The program announcement that Steve talked about at the 27th annual event. You can go to obviously the next steps, which are the background, how you're going to get into the program, who we're going to connect you with, and just kind of all the things that you'll do to get started. The neat part about this, and I know Steve mentioned this, is participate in Smiles for Life whitening. Now we have Smiles for Life, Adopt an Athlete, Smiles for Life Humanitarianship. I mean, it's to see the expansion is really a neat part of the growth here. So
a lot of ways to do good, and like I said, it's one of the big revelations of this is the population is big, 25% of America, and easy to serve. It is, for some, it seems daunting. You'd be amazed at how many people there are that can be helped, that are part of the IDD community. And big need, great way to do good. So the challenge here is to make this a part of your whole doing good strategy in your practice. Has the power to make a huge difference, power to change lives, and as Rob mentioned, huge positive impact on the entire team.
And I love how you called him out and said it's his passion that really is what, I mean, that is what is so exciting to see him. And then for him to say that it transfers to his team, what a cool thing to experience. Man, he's got a gold medal from it. I mean,
he does. Not bad.
Very cool. Well, I'm excited to see how it grows. So great interview. All right. Well, we're going to wrap up with one of our, you have seen Natalie Egbert before if you've been to anything. Natalie has been a part of Crown Council for years. And that's kind of what prompted me to call her and ask her. She is around so many dental teams in her day-to-day work with Utah Valley Dental Lab. She is a lot like Steve and the practice advisors, which is constantly working with, talking to the best dental teams across the nation every day, all day. And so that's what I thought it'd be fun to have Natalie on and have her share some of the things that she's learned, some of the stuff that she sees, and some advice that she can give off to others. Natalie, can you hear me? I can't see you. Oh, I can see.
Can you see me now?
Yes.
I can see you.
All right. Why can't I see you? Let's see if I can see you a little bit better.
Is that a virtual background or is that real? Are those real?
That's Wyndon today. That's Utah today. That's us.
Love it.
Very cool. Well, I first met Natalie when she used to work at Dr. Chris Hammond's office. Maybe we could start there, Natalie. Tell us a bit about your background, what led you into the world of dentistry.
Well, I was a patient of Dr. Hammond's before I worked there, which I knew them and loved them. I went to Dr. Roy as long as I could remember, and I knew the family there, and I had a friend who worked there, and she told me that there were opportunities to work there, and I took it. Working with them is what led to the passion for dentistry. I got to know everyone at the lab. I got to know the world of dentistry. It led me to encourage my husband to go into the field. He's a lab technician. He does the all-on-X work, the really fun, exciting all-on-X work, and just kind of led to our whole life being around dentistry. It's great.
That sounds like two other guys that might be on this call with you.
That's right. So Natalie, tell everybody day to day what you do at Utah Valley, because I think this is very, very relevant.
I love what I do. I work with our clinical director is Dr. David Hornbrook, and I work with him doing CE programs. I do special events and other events, but mostly education courses and programs. One of my favorite events all year is next weekend. It's the Young Dentist program.
Yes.
Weekend. We get to all get back together with the young dentists and watch someone's life be transformed with a smile makeover.
Yes.
We do other courses throughout the year. That one is a highlight.
Yeah. In fact, we just talked to one of the young dentists that is going to be with us this coming weekend, Alexa McEnany. She was with us and gave us all of the highlights from the last 2 years. She's attended for 2 years.
It's more like it's more like 1.5 years.
2 years sounds better. So, Natalie, you're involved in all those CE courses, which really results in transformation. I mean, I'm one of them. I was transformed as a patient, as you know. Dr. Hornbrook helped me after I did my double jaw surgery and restored my whole mouth. And I have a Utah Valley piece of artwork in my mouth. Every tooth, Phil Nebeker created with his master skills. And so I am a walking, talking billboard. Most common comment you get from dentists that go through the clinical education that you help put together, what do they say on the back end?
Life-changing.
Yep.
That they wish they would have done it sooner. Oftentimes we hear they wish they would have brought their team. I always encourage people, if they're going to do CE, a few things to get the most out of it: bring your team. Whenever possible, bring your team. We've all been at an event, an annual event or another meeting, and you have that aha moment, and you hear this great information, and you can't wait to go home and either share it with the people you work with or share it with your family. It doesn't quite translate because you weren't there.
Yeah.
So whenever possible, bring your team along. How many times have I tried to retell a Jeannie Robertson story? And I'm excited, I'm telling it, I'm laughing and laughing, and someone's nodding and smiling, and it's just not the same if someone's not there, getting the information, feeling the energy, and asking the questions they want to ask. Most oftentimes people say, oh, I wish I would have brought my team, and I say, do it next time. Anytime you possibly can, bring your team and hold them accountable. I feel like it's really important for your team to come and for them to know what information they want to bring back, and that when they have the opportunity for the development, that they're also responsible for taking it back to the office and sharing it with others, and so that they can pay attention and be a part of all of the portions, attend all of the parts of the event, give your team credit. They can get a lot out of the clinical portions, let them do it, not just the other areas, but let your team sit in on the clinical portions and learn from it and ask questions as well.
Yeah, that in fact, as you know, that's what we call over here psychology. That when the team can talk about it with the patients with as much or even more passion than the dentist, it has that much more credibility when they've experienced it and they understand it. This is going to sound odd because everybody in dentistry will kind of scratch their heads on this. You know what my favorite Hornbrook course is?
What?
The occlusion course. What?
What do you love about it? I know what I love about it.
I've always said that occlusion is to dentistry what politics is to the rest of the world. If you want to get two dentists in a fight, just put two dentists together and get them to start to talk about occlusion, because there are so many different philosophies and so many methodologies, and it doesn't seem like anybody agrees on anything. But one of the things, I'm not a dentist, as you know, but one of the things I love about the occlusion course is, as a patient and a product of all of those things that are taught, when Dr. Hornbrook, restored my whole mouth, and occlusion was the first consideration. And there is not a night or a morning that goes by that I do not think about the occlusion course. And the reason is I was a chronic bruxer as a kid. I had an airway problem from earliest age. My dentist always used to ask me as a kid if I was grinding my teeth. And of course, I didn't know what I was doing. And today, I think one of the coolest things, and this is such a big revelation, when the occlusion is spot on and the airway is open, there is no grinding, there is no bruxing, everything's great. I do not wear a mouth guard at night. Every tooth has been restored. The occlusion is spot on. I do not wear a mouth guard, and sleep is a dream. It's awesome. Oh. So it's not something that patients even think about because they don't know about it. But for me as a patient, it is one of the most important things I think any dentist can learn. So that's my favorite. I love the aesthetics course because that's the stuff that makes it beautiful. I love the occlusion course because it has such huge impact for me in my life, and has huge impact when it's done right. And that's
agreed. It's an important foundation. It's not as sexy as the cosmetics, but it's an important foundation.
Yeah. So 2 questions. One is, if somebody has never gone through any of the clinical continuing education that Utah Valley Dental Lab offers, where would you suggest they start?
I would start with occlusion. It's a good foundation. It's not required, but it's a good place to start. And then you can move on from there, and you get an appreciation of what it is that we do with these courses. If I tell anyone, if they've only been out of dental school a few years, start with the Young Dentist program.
Yeah, for sure.
You get a few steps of the basics and veneer preps. Dr. Hornbrook teaches a few of those things. Plus you get, at the annual event, you get that incredible, basically a treatment planning workshop.
Yeah.
Where he goes step by step through, and Dr. Larson and a few of our other fabulous mentors, and talk about the different kinds of cases that they can do. That's a really good place to start.
Yeah, all great stuff. And there is always a ton to learn clinically as well as every other area of practice. But this is one. I know people, Natalie, that had, dentists that had pretty much were ready to kind of close it out, and they were, kind of burned out with dentistry, and attended the occlusion course and then the aesthetics course, and just like the fire was rekindled. It's like they saw a whole new possibilities with their patients. They started seeing their patients differently, treatment planning differently, saw the difference in their lives. It's not only transformational for the patients, but for the dentist as well. So anybody who wants to know more, where do they go to get information about the courses?
You can email me, Natalie@uvdl.com, or you can go to our website, uvdl.com.
uvdl.com, Utah Valley Dental Lab, uvdl.com. Exactly. Thank you, Natalie. We appreciate everything that you do, especially for the young dentists, but also for all the Crown Council members. You have added a lot of value and continue to do that. You've been doing it for many, many years. And
I'm grateful I get to. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Natalie. See you next week.
See you next week.
Hey, bye. Thanks. Very cool. Man, she is a huge part of, she's everything we go to. And
she is an organizer and concierge and just a bright light. She's awesome.
Very good. All right, Steve, good program today. Lots of fun guests. Thanks for everything. It was a good, next week we'll have the young dentists they'll be ready to go. So it'll be exciting till then. So
very cool. Thanks, Stuart.
Good day. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.